What's going on? This is Blessed Angel coming to you with another video. I wanted to really quickly, Cliff Note style, share my journey on how I became a flight attendant because, you know, normally I post encouraging videos, and I felt like this is, in a sense, encouraging to those who may have the same dream, or just to those who have dreams and desires, and they just need another motivational video to encourage them to go after it. So in 2017, I took my first ever flight. I flew with a major airline, and first of all, I love to people watch. I love to observe, but not in a creepy way. I just love to people watch and just being around people. So going to the airport, going through security, I was literally bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, like so excited, the hustle and bustle and the TSA yelling at you. I loved it. So I went through TSA and all of that, and then once I got into the terminals and, you know, walking by the gates, I was like, wow, this is really dope. And when I saw the flight attendants, the captains, the first officers in their uniforms, I was like, that's dope. Because mind you, I've been to the airport, but never really been in the airport, like actually going through security. 2017 was my first time ever going through that, and I was in my 20s. So seeing the flight attendants and the captains and the first officers, I was like, wow, that is really dope to me. It is so powerful to me. So I got on the plane, and of course I was nervous because I didn't know what to expect. And the flight attendants on that flight were so sweet, because I told them this is my first time flying, and they were really sweet. It wasn't a scary experience at all. And also, I'm a people person. I talk to almost any and everybody. You know, if I feel like, okay, I like their spirit, I feel like I could connect with them in a great way. So the passenger beside me, it was an older lady. She was super sweet. Her husband was sitting across from her on the other row. And me and her was talking the whole flight. But the takeoff, the level off, the landing, all of it, it was really interesting. And it just gave me an adrenaline rush. But mind you, at that time, I was not thinking, oh, I want to be a flight attendant. It was just, I was in awe. I was in awe of the whole experience. And my first flight was actually to Dallas, Texas, to visit a then boyfriend. And so, you know, I enjoyed the experience, but like I said, it wasn't like, oh, I want to be a flight attendant. But that's when the desire and the dream took form. So then fast forward to 2019. I kept seeing these videos on YouTube popping up, my, you know, journey to becoming a flight attendant, what it's like to be a flight attendant, the life of a flight attendant. And I said, you know what, I'm intrigued. So started watching those. And also I was running a business full time as a piano studio owner. So I was teaching piano lessons to youth and adults. I was also the minister of music of a church at that time. So, you know, I didn't really have time to travel, get on a plane, and even between 2017, 2019, I took 2 more flights, or was it 1 more flight? No, I went on 2 more flights, and the whole experience, again, I was like, wow, this is really dope. And every time I would see the flight attendants, I would like, okay, this was me. During the safety demo, even during the safety demo, I would literally watch the flight attendants doing the safety demo, like literally like watching in amazement. Because, you know, most of the time people just have their heads down looking in their phones or sleeping. But I was the nerd. I'm like literally staring at them and I'm just in awe and amazement, watching them fix the drinks and handing out the cookies and the pretzels and just everything about it. Just the formation, the uniforms, their demeanor. Everything about it was beautiful. So 2017 to 2019, I took a couple of more flights, but it still wasn't ooh, I can see myself doing that. I want to be a flight attendant. It was just a desire that was taking shape, that was taking form. So in 2019, that desire grew, you know, like a baby. It began to grow. And I said, you know what? Let me just do some research. So I started watching the YouTube vlogs. And I was like, wow, that's an interesting life. And even then, it wasn't like, I want to be a flight attendant really, really badly. It was just an interest. So I was like, you know what? Why not? We're getting older and change is good. So I got my resume updated. I paid somebody to update my resume. And I was like, you know what? As soon as applications become open, I'm going to start applying because I just wanted to be prepared. Now, mind you, I did not have a passport. How are you going to apply to be a flight attendant and you ain't got no passport? But I updated my resume and I would just look and see, okay, is anybody hiring? Let me keep my eyes open. Let me sign up to the job notification alerts. So then 2020 came. We all know what happened in 2020, but in case you didn't know, COVID, we had the pandemic and I was like, never mind. I'm good. I don't want to be a flight attendant because I saw how it was just very challenging for flight attendants. Well, for everybody, but definitely for the aviation industry. I was like, nah. So I set it on the back burner, but it never left me. I would every now and then think about it. And y'all, I'm so corny. When I would go walk, so this was in 2019, when I would go walk at the park, like try to get, my exercise in, when I was gun-ho on, wanting to apply to be a flight attendant, if the opportunity became available, I would like walk really fast and I would say, okay, I'm walking as if I'm walking through the airport and I got to get to my gate in time. I was literally living it out. I was acting as if I was already a flight attendant. So I would do that. But also another reason why, like, I wanted to apply right away as soon as the opportunity became available, but there was still some hesitancy because I was like, but how will I still run my business? I'm playing for church. I'm doing this and this and that. I don't know if I would be able to do it. My plate was too full to even add to it being a flight attendant. So then 2020 happened. 2021, I resigned from being the minister of music for the church. So now my schedule is free. Saturdays are free, Sundays are free. I don't have a lot of responsibilities. And then in 2022, Delta, they had their applications open. I don't mind saying their name because that's not who I work for. Just throwing that out there. I applied to them and I did not pass the assessment. And I was like, oh, okay, it's fine. So then I applied to Frontier. And I actually got invited to the face-to-face interview. Now, this is in 2023. So I applied to Delta in 2022, didn't pass the assessment, but then I applied to Frontier at the beginning of 2023, and I was invited to the face-to-face interview in Colorado. 2 weeks before the interview, my spirit said, don't go. I just, how you get that funny feeling like, I don't think you should do that right now. I got that feeling and I decided to not go. So I withdrew my application. Also that month, in January of 2023, I decided to close my business. I was burnt out. I was tired. I needed change and I needed a break. And when I get to that point, you know how sometimes you have to, it's more wise to pull yourself away before you get to that point of being burnt out. I didn't listen to myself. I didn't listen to God. So it took me getting burnt out and just like literally blacking out, not blacking out like I passed out, but just literally like, I don't care right now. I'm just tired. That's how bad it was. So January of 2023, I decided to close down my studio. I do miss it. I miss my students. I miss my babies. I miss the parents, but running the business, I was tired. I did it for 10 years. 10 years. So January came and I decided to withdraw my application from Frontier. And then fast forward to March of 2023, my grandfather passed away. And my grandparents raised me, so those are my parents. Yes, I have parents, but those are my parents. They raised me. And that shook me in a great way. Yes, I screamed, hollered, cried. I did all of that. But I also lived. Because one thing Papa said before he passed, I said, Papa, you lived a long life. And he said, yes, I did. And I'm proud. And I'm proud. Those 3 words shook me to my core. And I said, you know what? that will be my final statement before I pass away. I lived and I am proud. I'm proud of the life I've lived, mistakes, flaws, and all included. I am proud of the life I lived. I lived a good life. He was 88 when he passed. So then I kept that dear and near to me. So he passed in March. I got my nose pierced in April. And I really wanted to get a tattoo, but tattoos cost money. But I got my nose pierced, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna live. I'm living. So time went by, and in September, I applied. August. In August, I got my passport. So late July, I applied to get my passport. Got my passport late August. September, I applied to Delta again. I said, you know what? Why not? Let's try it again. So I applied. This time, I passed the assessment. I did the on-demand interview, which is a recorded interview. Passed that. And then I made it to the face-to-face interview in Atlanta, Georgia. So everything was, it was going well and everything, but I did not get it. I was one of the, one of the groups to last to get let go. But honestly, it stung, but I was not devastated. Because deep down, I was like, I have this desire for a reason. And I'm somebody's flight attendant. I don't know who it is, but I'm somebody's flight attendant. So then, me and the other candidates who did not get the job, we were on the shuttle together, went to the airport, and one of the candidates said, well, there's another airline that's hiring. They just opened up their applications. And I said, I didn't even get a notification. And also, there are flight attendant vlogs out there who keeps you updated on, who's hiring. I didn't even get a notification from that blog. I don't even know she wrote a blog about it. But I found out after that interview that this airline was hiring. And I said, I'll think about it. So that was on a Thursday, the interview in Atlanta. Friday came, I prayed, meditated, thought on it. And I just see how I was feeling. And Friday afternoon, I said, hey, why not? What's the worst that can happen? I've been told no many times. It's not gonna hurt this time. So I applied to this airline. And I applied, did the assessment, passed. Now this process was long. So mind you, this was all in September. So I didn't hear from them again until October. And that's when I was invited to do a group interview. So I did the group interview, and it was like 24 other candidates. So I was number 25. It took forever. It wasn't a long interview, but we each had to answer a question, and it felt like it took so long and forever because your adrenaline is up and you're just kind of anxious in a good way, and you're just ready and you're excited. But I was myself, and I can make another video if you're interested in the steps of becoming a flight attendant, which there are so many other resources out there, but I know everybody's story and journey and experience is different. So long story short, because this is getting long and I said this would be short. Long story short, I passed the group interview, and I didn't find that out until like maybe 3 weeks later. So it was a long process. Then I got the email. I literally had pulled into the driveway at home. I was on the phone with my best friend, and I was like, man, I'm still waiting to hear back from them. And so something said, no, my spirit said, God said, check your email. Open up my email. She's on the phone. You have been invited to the face-to-face interview. Oh, snap. So I scheduled my interview, and I flew out to Texas. And the interview, the whole process, I really enjoyed it. It was really good, and I can make another video on that because this is getting long, but it felt good to me. Being there felt so right. It felt good. It felt, this may be cliche, it felt like home. It felt like I could be myself. So, found out that I got the job. I got the job offer. And this was all on November 7th. So November 7th was when I flew out to Texas, got my job offer. Now, December, January, February. I'm telling y'all, it's a long process. February came and I'm like, when is training? Finally got the email that training would be in March. So then March came and I was able to go to training and graduated April 30th. I was in Texas for 6.5 weeks and I graduated April 30th. So I was the class of 2408. And I actually enjoyed training. It was challenging. That could be another video. It was challenging, but I liked the challenge. It really shaped me in a great way. And I absolutely loved my instructors. Oh my Lord, they will always have a special place in my heart. It was the whole process for me. So that is the journey. I graduated April 30th and we were off for 5 days. And then on May 6th was when I officially started flying. Well, no, I'm sorry. May 6th was when we had pretty much our orientation. And then I picked up my first trip, I think on May 8th or 9th. And my first trip was to Grand Rapids, Michigan. I enjoyed it. The crew were so kind. And you know, you're gonna hit them with that, you know, I'm new card, like, hey, this is my first flight, or hey, I've only been flying for a week. And everybody has been welcoming me with open arms, and they feel like a family. So that's just a short version of how I became a flight attendant. It all started with a dream. It all started with a desire. And then from there, it took form and it grew. I gave it time. I was patient. And not only was I patient, I wasn't staring at it like, oh, when is this dream going to be fulfilled? I was still living too. I was still working at my other job. I was still hanging out with my friends and family. I was still doing self-care and spiritual care and all of that. I was still living. I wasn't just looking at it, you know, you would look kind of foolish if you go out to the garden and you're looking at your garden like, when you gonna grow? No, water it, take care of the garden, and then go live. And that's exactly what I did. I saw my desire, I saw the dream, I felt it. If I acted as if I was one, I would play around with my friends and making cute little PAs and you know, I would water the desire and then I would go live. So that's my encouragement to you. If you have a dream or a desire, trust. It's okay. It's not going anywhere. God has a shield of protection around it. Can't nobody snatch it away from you because it's within you. But make sure you nurture it. Make sure you pay attention to it. Give care to it. And then eventually, as it takes shape, as it takes form, it will eventually grow and it will eventually manifest. It will happen, okay? You have to trust the journey. You have to trust the process. I know we hear that a lot, but it's true. There's no other way to put it. Trust the process. So that's my encouragement to you, but that's also my story on how I became a flight attendant. This was a short version, even though this video is a little longer than all of my other videos, but I pray and hope that this encourages you all to go after your dream and your desire. Because yes, it will come to you, but you have to go towards it. You know what I mean? It takes two, okay? So I hope this blesses you. Thank you for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, I appreciate you. You want something from the store? But you take care and remember that you are right where you need to be. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.